All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And this video brought to you by Sharp Corners, Sports Cards, and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, along the Monterey Peninsula. Call my friend Anthony Catania. He's at 831-521-5264. All right, Kyle Shanahan spoke today to the media after the 49ers got a win yesterday over the Patriots. Jacob Cowing, he started with the injuries. Jacob Cowing, all these guys are day-to-day. Jacob Cowing with a shoulder. Jordan Elliott's got a knee injury. George Kittle's got a rib injury. Chris Conley's got an oblique. Fred Warner's got an ankle. And Kyle Juszczyk's got a shoulder. All those guys are day-to-day. He was asked about Christian McCaffrey and his Achilles. And, you know, the report came out earlier today that Christian's got Achilles pain, Achilles tendonitis in both Achilles. Kyle seemed to say, oh, no, it's not in both Achilles, but then said, yeah, actually it is in both Achilles. So as far as does he have it in both Achilles this second, I don't know. Kyle was kind of evasive, but he did say that he's got Achilles tendonitis at one point or another in both legs. What does that mean for his return? I don't know. What does that mean for his timeline? I don't know. As far as Ricky Pearsall, he was asked about Ricky Pearsall. Is Pearsall's practice window going to be opened this week? They made reference to that it could be open this week. Kyle was asked about it today. He said they haven't decided whether or not to open his practice window or not. And then he was asked, you know, will Ricky need a larger ramp-up period of time because of, you know, it's not an injury, it's a gunshot wound, so on and so forth. Kyle said he didn't want to judge it one way or another, didn't want to evaluate it or have an opinion on that one way or another until after he sees Ricky on the practice field for the first time. So they're probably going to take a look at you know, see how he feels, talk to him, and if he feels okay, they'll get him out there. He was asked about Jordan Mason and what's the key to Mason. He just said Mason runs hard. You know, he runs hard. The guy's averaging over 5 yards a carry in his career, 5.2 a carry. That's pretty impressive. So he was asked about Mason and what separates Mason from other backs, and he just said, hey, man, the guy runs hard. As far as Malik Mustafa, he was asked about Mustafa, who played a lot yesterday. He said he did real well. He said he dropped, you know, obviously he mentioned that he dropped an interception, but he made a lot of good plays. He said he had a key on the Warner interception return. He said that Mustafa was a big part of that return. But Malik definitely played well. He dropped the one interception, but he showed that he could play the deep middle, and it sounds like he's going to play a lot more going forward. He was asked about Renardo Green. He mentioned that the plan was to play Renardo in the second half. It really wasn't related to Yadam's performance in the first half. They wanted to get, you know, a certain number of plays for Yadam, a certain number of plays for Renardo, and so they were going to put Renardo in the first half, but then the drives were so long that they decided to wait until the second half. So they had Yadam play the first half, and he played well, according to Shanahan, but then Green came in the second half and played really well. So as far as will there be a decision made or a decision made as far as, you know, switching from Yadam to Green, Kyle didn't make any reference to that, but he seemed to be very impressed by Renardo Green. Kyle was also asked about the big defensive tackle, Evan Anderson, and he said he thought he did real well. Of course, Anderson had a sack on a play where Bosa really caused the pressure and the quarterback kind of fell at the feet of Anderson. And I believe Anderson was credited with that sack. It was interesting that Anderson did beat out T.Y. McGill to be up against this week against the Patriots. You know, McGill thought he was going to be up. I asked him about it early in the week, and he said he thought he was getting the call up. I wonder sometimes if the 49ers, you know, heard me reference that and, you know, put up Evan Anderson instead. They seem to suggest that it was a competition and that Anderson won the competition. Anderson's the bigger talent. He's stronger. He's got better footwork. He's just younger and more raw And so I thought T.Y. McGill would be up. T.Y. thought T.Y. would be up. But ultimately it was Evan Anderson, and he played well. He was out there. He was wearing the Guardian cap, so you could see him. And he made some plays against the run, and he's really strong. He's hard to uproot out of there. And, I don't think it was an accident that Anderson played and the Niners defensive front had one of its better games. I mean, you got to have that anchor in the middle who doesn't give ground, and Anderson is that guy. He's a true two-gap tackle with tremendous play strength. 7 rookies, by the way, played a role on the field in this game over the weekend against the Patriots. 49ers are feeling really good about their 2024 draft class. Shanahan also mentioned that the D-line played well, and he singled out Malik Collins, who had a sack, and Sam Aquinu. He called him Sam O. Maybe we should start calling him Sam O. But Sam did have a really nice game. He wasn't credited with a sack, but he did have a TFL. He was flying around. He was looking good. So Shanahan, shouted out Sam O for doing well, and Malik Collins, who got a sack in this game as well. And then I think it was Mayoka who asked him towards the end of the presser, what's the status on Kalia Davis? Is Kalia Davis's return going to be soon? Very soon? I mean, I know they'd made reference that Kalia Davis would be coming back at some point. And Shanahan actually went as far as to say there's a real chance that his practice window could be opened on Wednesday when the 49ers resume practices this week, getting ready to take on the Cardinals. So you may see Kalia Davis practicing. He sounded like he was more enthused about the possibility of Kalia Davis practicing this week than even the possibility of Ricky Pearsall practicing this week. So, you never want to compare injury situations, but it is interesting that, Pearsall was thought to be back this week and may or may not be now. Kalia Davis, I think most people thought was going to be gone for, till half the season was over. And here he is 4 weeks in already talking about maybe making a comeback. Kalia Davis looked really, really good in his one game with the 49ers earlier in the preseason. And that was the best game I've seen him play in a 49er uniform. Now, he's got kind of smaller lower body and kind of a bigger upper body. So the question isn't about his health, it's about his durability. Will he be able to stay healthy? Will he be able to stay upright? Can Kalia Davis play defensive tackle in the NFL and play 4 or 5 games without getting hurt? We're going to find out. What he did show this summer was explosive pass rushing traits. And he looks like the kind of guy that could be a difference maker as an interior rusher. So anybody who's an interior player who can rush the passer always is a valuable player. And the Niners are hoping to get Kalia back and on the field as soon as possible. All right, that does it for the update. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.